Much better this time.
I'll shove this through here. Nah, I'm just gonna film.
Do you just know everything by feel? Because I can't. Yeah, I'm like.
So, I mean, that's all part of it. We'll just take a second. You know, with being a solo diver, self-reliant diver, so some of the things are when I get in the water. So I have multiples. I have a dive knife down here. I have over here in this pocket. I have sea snips. I have a spare mask here. Here's my secondary air source, so if something goes wrong with my first air source, or my primary air source, I can switch to this. Although I usually leave it turned off. Last dive, I didn't test this, and when I did turn it on, I got the law, I was going to use this, I noticed that, that there was no O-ring, so it's always good to test this before you go. So I keep spares of everything, so if, and also if somebody comes up alongside of me and has a problem, I can either give them this to breathe off of, or I can give them my alternate. I keep an extra light. This is my camera. It's a GoPro 10. I have 2 backscatter 4300 strobes, so I get true light when I'm down at the bottom. I'm using Mares Quattro fins, and I have a nice set of tech diving shorts. In this pocket, I keep a Garmin InReach satellite communicator that ties into this Garmin dive computer. I do have a second dive computer, which is the Shearwater Carrot. So if one happens to go dead or whatever, or I lose one on the dive, I still have one, and I'm still gonna be able to dive. This is a nice little signaler. I can use it underwater or on the surface, and I keep a few other things, but I have redundancy to everything, so that if something does go wrong when I'm filming, that I can switch to it. And to answer your question, I practice so I know where everything is. So with my eyes closed, I know where things are. I feel for that. If I'm inside the wreck and there's no light, I know it's really important to know and to feel where everything is and be comfortable with what you're feeling to make sure that if it's a mask and so on and so forth. So I practice with that fairly often just to make sure that I'm comfortable. And there's time to, you really don't want to be figuring it out. If you're under the water and you're having a hard time, that's not the time to start figuring it out and having to fool around everything. You really want to practice with this stuff and be proficient with it. And by doing that, I am much more comfortable under the water, knowing that if something happened, I have the capabilities to do a self-rescue first before relying on somebody else. Maybe you get lucky, maybe you have a good dive buddy, maybe you don't have a good dive buddy, you just never know. So I have all the things to help me, and also if somebody else on my dive team needs a hand, I have a little bit of extra stuff that I can help them as well.
Time to go in the water. Awesome.